I don't know. Just a second. Okay.
All right.
Yes. Sure. Let's do this. Yes. Okay. I'm ready.
All right. Mhm. So I looked over your reflection that you sent me. Do you want to say anything first?
Um, well, first I would like to review the rubric that it is in activity 2, mentor evaluation. Do you
Oh,
see the screen, right?
I can, yes.
Oh, yes. So first like I have to ask you question with
Mhm,
this, and then you will answer the questions according
mhm.
to based on this rubric. So
Okay.
uh, do you think I use knowledge about students' growth and development to design and implement developmentally appropriate and challenging learning experience?
Yes, I think so. I would say yes. You do you want me to tell you between insufficient, basic, and proficient
Yeah, you can
and
just tell
outstanding?
me.
Yeah, I would give you a proficient. Like
Okay.
as I was thinking, mhm. You definitely like you did a good job pre-assessing all of their knowledge. You clearly knew like how to develop an engaging activity that met their needs.
Mhm.
The stations was really fun and engaging for the students, and it was developmentally appropriate.
Okay.
I would agree with it might have been helpful to what did I pick here?
No, it's okay.
Oh, I'm
Take
looking for.
time.
Uh, yeah, yeah, I would agree that they could have been more supported if they'd had more visual aids, especially since we have
Yes.
more
Okay.
ELL students.
Right.
But I think that the activity was good, and it really did show like a knowledge of what would be both interesting to students and helpful for students. So
Oh, okay. Thank you.
mhm. Yes.
And did I create a positive classroom climate by making students feel valued and show respect for each other?
Yes, I think that I can tell when you're teaching, you have a very warm and positive attitude toward the students, and that you are interested in listening to them
Mhm.
and hearing their ideas, and you're good at guiding them toward what they need to do. So again, proficient. I would say that you did very well here, making all the students feel valued and helping them learn to respect each other. Just the one hang up about
Oh, two students they're talking, right?
the
Like,
two students
yeah.
talking, right? Which that's totally normal not to catch those things sometimes. They try to hide it sometimes. This time they were not particularly doing so, but yeah, it's within the normal realm, I would say. So
Mhm.
yeah, proficient. Mhm.
Okay. Thank you. And
Mhm.
um, do I use knowledge? Did I use knowledge about individual differences and diverse cultures to develop inclusive learning environments that support all students in meeting high standards?
I would say yes, you did a good job here. Again, just touching on the making sure to use visual aids and making sure to bring it back to what was it the when you asked one of the questions, the kids were not sure if they were supposed to define something or give an example of something.
Oh,
Again, one of those things because they're ELL, it's something to draw their attention to.
mhm.
But I'd say that when you, especially when you're circling around, helping the students out,
Mhm.
you pay really careful attention to students who might be a little bit lower and helping them out and answering any questions that any of the students have, making sure that they can do their best work.
Okay, thank you.
Of
And
course.
did I create environments that support individual and collaborative learning, positive social interaction, active engagement in learning, and self motivation?
I think so. Yes, I would give you proficient there as well. The
Okay.
students were really engaged. Some of them, every student has their own level of engagement. And I think that for the level of engagement that each of these students have, they were engaged.
Okay.
And it was very positive, yes.
Oh, positive. Thank you. And did I create environment that are student centered rather than teacher centered, or do students have the opportunity to make choices or take responsibility for their own learning?
I think that's one of the beauties of using centers, and I think you did use centers quite well here. The students really get to be more in charge of what they're doing. So yeah, I would say this is quite good.
Okay. Yeah. I realized I made some little bit slight teacher center because I explained a whole lot of like machines first, like right after pre-assessments. But yeah, thank you for your feedback. And I have established norms and procedures that lead to engage students, maximum time on task, and logical management of classroom space.
I give you here I give you basic on this one. Like
Okay,
there's some like
thank
just
you.
knowing how to rearrange the students and when to rearrange the students is something that comes with like time. Like, are the students looking like this behind them? Then maybe we need to
Oh,
move their desks back.
oh yeah.
But I mean, like it's there and it's gonna keep developing as you keep practicing it. Let's see.
Okay.
Maximum time on task, engage students. I do think that your procedures help them be engaged. I'd say just, especially working with ELLs, make sure that you're always giving them the visual cue along with the verbal cue. Like if you want them to fill in the table, have the table up on the board so that they and like practice one with them so they know what parts am I supposed to fill in, and how, like what's a model for this. But aside from that, yeah,
it's like creating posters, like like a norm
could be
poster.
posters, could just be written on the, like showing you my board, could put it up on the screen, whatever it is. Just they need more visual cues, because for the ones who still are not quite there grammatically, having the visuals, they can usually figure it out if they get that in front of them.
Okay. Thank you. And
of course.
any other feedbacks and that
I mean, let's see here. Let's take a look. Do you want me to go over all my notes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Well, let's see here. You did a really good job, I think, clarifying all the classroom rules at the beginning, which that's great, especially because as the students are moving into secondary, they're going to need to get used to every teacher has their own classroom rules. So it was great for them to start hearing that now, just for me. I loved how you used the KWL chart at the beginning. And I think it's a really, really great quick assessment tool. I think we talked about using like maybe you could use like an anchor chart with that. And have the sticky notes, and the kids could put their sticky note thoughts on there too. And that way we can all kind of as a class reflect on it together. And then they can continue to see that throughout the remainder of the unit. Let's see here. You had very clear objectives and they were appropriate to the grade level. And the discussion questions I thought were really stimulating. The kids were really engaged in trying to think of how many different tools they could think about for mathematics. So that got them thinking about it. I thought that was really great. Let me see here. Stations wise, I liked the stations a lot. I thought it was a really good exploration of the topic. And I really liked, you did a good job giving instructions verbally before releasing the students to the task. But again, make sure to give them visually in some way too.
Yes.
For those TLL support. One thing that I was really impressed by was when you noticed that they were getting done with their station, because there's only 5 of them. They're not going to take that long in each station. And after you noticed that, you started to tell them, okay, since you're done, let's just move it ahead. And that's a great time management technique, because especially Especially
Oh,
with only 40 minutes, it's a great way to catch up time. If you're like, okay, these guys, I'm going to tell them they need 2 minutes, so it feels quick for them. But if they're done in 1 minute, we can move ahead. That's a great strategy there. You don't have to be following the clock exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, I liked how you did the partner checking at the end. And I really did enjoy the Kahoot. I thought that was very fun.
Yes,
So
so good.
yeah,
I will do it again for the next.
yeah, they're always asking for it. So
Okay, yeah, I appreciate
right.
it. Yeah.
Of
Thank
course.
you.
All right. Is there anything else I can?
No, that's all. Like, all you need to do is just you said
Put that in there.
you mentioned like proficient, and later
Mhm.
basic. You can just click, and then yes, submit it. And
Submit it?
yes.
Okay. And do
So
I add comments there, Cheryl?
I'm
No,
sorry.
I don't add any comment. I don't have to add any comments. I just
I
click.
think you have to add some like feedbacks, like some
Okay.
like short feedbacks, or but it's
Mhm.
not really long. It doesn't really have to
Okay.
be long. So I think
Good
you
to
can.
know. All
Yes.
right. I'll get that for you by this evening then. I'll turn that in.
Okay, then I will send you my new lesson plan next week. Okay.
Okay. Sounds great.
Okay.
Have
Thank
a good
you.
evening.
Have a good. Bye
Bye.
bye.
I don't know how to turn this off.
Oh, I don't know. I still don't know how to
Oh,
do it.
there we go. Got it.
Oh,
Got it.
okay. Bye bye.